Hello, we are the channel, Vamos para Portugal. In this video, we will present a summary of our application for a residence visa in Portugal. We will comment on appointments, documentation presented, fees paid and expected deadlines. We have prepared a series of step-by-step videos on how a Brazilian retiree can immigrate legally, and without hassle, to Portugal. We recommend that you check out these videos for a broader understanding. We will leave the links in the description. In 2023, we were in the regions of Porto, Lisbon and Algarve, during the months of August and September, to evaluate the regions and cities discussed in our previous videos, in which we identified the best regions for housing in Portugal. On our return to Brazil, we finalized the documentation and applied for visas to establish residence, which is done at VFS Global, a partner company of the Portuguese consulate in Brazil, which receives, prepares the documentation and sends it to the Portuguese consulate for analysis and issuance of visas. As we have already mentioned, we are a retired couple of middle to old age. For our specific case, we applied for 2 visas. For the main member of the family, we request a D7 visa, which is intended for the establishment of residence of retirees, religious people and people who live on income, and for the spouse, we request a D6 visa, which is a family accompaniment visa for people who travel with the holder from the country of origin, in our case, Brazil. Below we will present the process carried out personally by us, with the documents presented and the fees that were paid for the types of visa we requested. It is important to highlight that for this process we use the so-called invitation letter. The invitation letter or term of responsibility is a document issued by a legal resident in Portugal and serves as proof of the visitor's accommodation. Through it, the person is responsible for both the arrival and accommodation of the guest for a certain period. We also emphasize that, with the presentation of this term of responsibility, citizens of the CPLP, which is the community of Portuguese-speaking countries, are exempt from proof of travel insurance, means of subsistence, proof of place of residence and travel back. We record here our very special thanks to this person, our longtime friend, for his generosity in providing this document, which in addition to being filled out and signed, had to be authenticated at a notary office in Portugal. We dedicate our sincere recognition to her. During our research on immigration to Portugal, we concluded that it would not be necessary to hire service providers, consultants or lawyers to prepare our immigration process. Our first step was to gather the necessary documentation. To do this, we used the checklist D7 and checklist D6 documents as a reference, both available on the VFS Global website and which must be printed for delivery during the visa application interview. With all the documents in hand, we scheduled the service on the VFS Global website for the second week of October. As we are from São Paulo, the capital, our face-to-face service was carried out at the Portugal Visa Application Center, located at 434 Butanta Street in Pinheiros, São Paulo. It is recommended to arrive 30 minutes in advance to register at the entrance, and entry will only be released 15 minutes before opening time. The documents provided by us for the D7 and D6 visa were 2 copies with the completed header of the D7 checklist and 2 copies of the D6 checklist, which were obtained from the VFS Global website. In our case, each applicant's visa application forms were filled directly into the system by the attendant. 2 photos of each applicant, which were taken on the spot by the VFS Global attendant. We deliver original valid passports, and a copy of each. Copy of the CDAM, better known as PB4, of each applicant, valid for more than 1 year, which was obtained from the gov.br website. This document, Certificate of Right to Medical Assistance, is part of a social security agreement between Brazil and the nations of Portugal, Cape Verde, and Italy, which allows citizens of the country of origin to use the public health system in destination countries as local citizens. Criminal record certificates for each person, issued on the gov.br website, 1 week in advance, as it was necessary to carry out the Hague apostille, at a cost of 146 reais each. The Hague apostille is a seal or stamp placed on the document as a way of certifying its authenticity by the notary office in which it was issued so that it is valid in other countries. Copies completed and signed by each applicant of the request for consultation by the Foreigners and Borders Service of the Portuguese criminal record. Copy of each applicant's INSS credit history, with at least 3 months of receipts. The National Social Security Institute, INSS, is responsible for paying retirement and other benefits to Brazilian workers, with the exception of public servants. This history is obtained from the MEU INSS website. The original invitation letters or term of responsibility of each applicant. This document was issued and authenticated during our trip to Portugal. Copy of complete income tax declarations, including delivery receipts, for each applicant. The applicant for the D6 visa, for family support, submitted a certified copy of the stable union deed. The stable union is a contract signed at a notary's office between two people with the aim of establishing a family nucleus. Copies completed and signed by each applicant of the term of acknowledgement and consent in relation to the hiring of VFS Global Services. Fees for the residence visa were paid, in the amount of 631 reais and 10 cents, per applicant. These payments can be made by debit card or PIX. On this occasion, extra fees were added for photos taken on the spot, for additional copies also taken on the spot, and an extra fee for receiving SMS about the progress of the process. With the documentation delivered, we are now waiting to receive the news of the issuance of the visas, when we will go to the VFS office again to collect the passports. As reported at the time, this process can take up to 60 business days. During this period we will finalize our analysis of the location chosen for our future home in Portugal. We hope that this account of our particular visa application process with the VSF has been useful in helping you prepare your own process. We ask that you subscribe to our channel and leave a like. This will greatly help us in disseminating more information and tips about the immigration process for a retiree to Portugal. So what? Let's go to Portugal? We already went in 2023, and we will definitely return in 2024.